Welcome back to another episode of Pass and Move podcast. My name is Dominic, and of course, joined by my co-host Aaron. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready to get into this episode. Let's start with the Arsenal Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge. 1-1 draw. I thought it was quite a scrappy game, to be honest. It's a bit back and forth. Obviously for Arsenal, they had Odegaard back. It was largely their strongest 11, you probably say. Maybe, I mean, Timber started. Maybe some Arsenal fans might say Calafiori is preferred at left back, but yeah, I think from Arsenal's perspective, when I was watching this game, it kind of highlighted to me at least. I know Chelsea have improved a lot from last season, but kind of their Arsenal stagnation or even their regression in terms of compared to the rest of the teams in the league. I don't know. I feel like I was watching this game and they really struggled to even like play through Chelsea consistently and create consistent chances. I thought that, Arsenal, one thing that we've come to know from them the past two seasons, I'd say probably more in 22, 23, was that their build up was really good. Like they were smooth on the ball, able to play through teams, and yeah, they really struggled in my opinion against Chelsea. What did you kind of make of Arsenal's performance?
Yeah, I think in the first half, I think they were a bit better than the second, personally. I think in the first, it was a bit like they were kind of getting back to things, like with Odegaard back, as you mentioned. I think they definitely played a lot better. I think Cucurella done really well for Chelsea to shut down Saka. I really did think he had a good game. But I think overall, it kind of got to a point. I remember in the second half, it got to a point where the game, it became a bit like balance, almost swinging towards Chelsea type of thing.
Yeah.
And then it felt like Arsenal, obviously when they got their goal, brilliant piece of play from Odegaard to find Martinelli, and a Martinelli near post, bang. But it did kind of feel like to me that there was a period, probably like 15, 20 minutes, where it just felt like all Chelsea. Just Chelsea, Chelsea. And then eventually Neto scores beautiful goal. I can't lie. That Neto goal, I can't lie. Yeah, man.
Bro, with the Chelsea, with the gate
When they,
crack,
when they hit,
can't lie, it was hitting still.
It's cold. I can't lie. But yeah, from then, it really did feel like they were just in control. And they didn't really feel like there was any fight from Arsenal to sort of like take control of the game back until it got a bit too late.
Yeah.
And then later on, you felt really Arsenal piling on the pressure, doing everything. But then to me, it just kind of felt like, like it's a bit late for that now type of thing. Like, we're waiting till the very end. Why are we not like this for the whole, not even, it's probably impossible to do it for the whole 90, but like for the whole second half at least. Like,
yeah, I mean, Arsenal, they're a team that we've come to know to be like relentless. Do you know what I mean? In these types of situations, like foot on the gas, like high pressure at all times. And yeah, I feel like that was kind of lacking, especially in the second half, like you said. From a Chelsea perspective, though, how do you think they're kind of reacting to this result? Because obviously a 1-1 draw at home, I think for Chelsea fans, the season's probably started better than they would have expected, but they're in the position they are now. And I feel like Arsenal were really there for the taking, to be honest. Like they kind of, they had, as you said, a few spells in the game where it was kind of all Chelsea and they were really dominating the ball. What did you kind of make of their performance, and do you think they'll be happy with the point?
I think they will, given the opposition, because it's Arsenal. I think they'll probably be happy with the point. But from that performance, I don't know. I do think they'll definitely feel like they could have taken a bit more from the game.
Yeah.
I didn't think Cole Palmer was great either.
That's a third big game in a row, by the way, that he's kind of in. Yeah. I was giving him grace the last two games, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I was watching him carefully this one, and I don't know. I wasn't impressed, but I'll lay off him for now. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, but I don't know, man. I think they'll definitely think they could have got a bit more. There was one time where, I think it was in the second half. There was one time where Jackson went through and goal and he went too early. It was so. I can't remember if he slotted it or not, but he's at like the halfway line and he goes too early, and it's just like, it's so frustrating for me because like, bro, Jackson's so fast, man. Yeah. He can make that anyway. But yeah, I feel like they definitely think like moments like that, and then there's one in the first half where there's a huge gap in between Ben White and whoever the right centre back was.
Is that the one where Palmer gives it to Neto?
He gives it to Neto instead, because he doesn't look, like he looks down to pass the ball instead of looking up and scanned it first, and then he doesn't see the ball, and it's gone. If he plays that ball in, like I feel like little moments like that, they'll definitely be thinking, "Damn, we could have got a bit more from this game." But honestly, overall, I think this season Chelsea have actually really surprised me. You know, some big performers all around the pitch. I think Cole's been good this season.
Yeah.
I think Fofana, when he's been fit, has been showing like, you know, the quality that he used to show way back before.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the. I think he's been solid, but I don't know if it's the
You
same.
don't think
I feel like the knees, man. I feel like he's feeling that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I think the performances they've been okay. They've been pretty solid. I think him and Cole I really like that partnership. I think they complement each other well. But I don't know if I would say back to like the Leicester form.
Oh, if you don't think so?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I liked Caicedo a lot this season.
Yeah.
I think he's been really consistent, and you're really starting to. I don't know. I feel like before there was all the conversation about Caicedo and Enzo, 200 million worth of flops, blah blah blah. But now it's starting to separate a bit. You're seeing Caicedo really, you know, coming to his own, and Enzo's still in that conversation by himself, I think. But I think as it goes on, obviously Sancho's still at the club, and I feel like now Neto's probably going to take over that like spot and solidify it the same way Madueke did with the... Was it a hat-trick or was it 4 goals early in the season?
It was a hat-trick against Wolves, yeah.
That hat-trick, I feel like from then, Madueke sort of nailed down the right wing spot. I feel like in the same way, Neto, with this recent goal, and also it's just his performances in general. And also, I do kind of think he is just like a better profile and a better fit for the team as well than Sancho.
He's way more dynamic, quicker, can get at his man one-on-one. I do think for Sancho, though, there could be a way back into the team, because I think the last 3 squads he's not been in the squad the last 3 games. But I think on that right hand side where Madueke is, I think Madueke started the season really hot, but I don't know, the last couple of games that I've been watching, it seems kind of like he's slowing down. I remember, I think it was the Brighton game. Chelsea fans were really onto him about being selfish in that game, and I was kind of like, I don't know, man. You want your wingers to try and get goals, get assists, but I feel like as kind of the games have come on, I've been coming around more to that kind of thought that at times I think he's a bit too tunnel vision maybe on getting the goals, whereas I feel like Sancho is someone who's more of a pass first winger. Do you know what I mean? Likes to combine, likes to create chances, and I don't know, maybe that could be a balance when he's back fit. I don't know why the reason is that he's not been in the squad, but yeah,
for sure. I think also a part of, I've noticed that thing with Madueke, but I think a part of that is low key. I think first of all, quality. I don't think he's as good as, like, you know, the level that they need anyway. Like, I feel like they're going to have to move past them. But I think besides from the quality thing, because you've seen it for England as well, I think he's trying to really sort of like stamp his name, because I feel like the way that Chelsea have operated so far, and obviously they've got guys like Kendry Pyers and Esteval coming in as well. I feel like the way that they're going, it's like he can very easily become, like, as they've shown with Chalobah or Sterling.
Yeah, he can get replaced easily.
You see, and I feel like him having that sort of goals and assists to look back on, compared to, like, let's say at the end of the season or whenever during the season they're evaluating how they want to go forward with the strategy, and they're looking at the players and looking at returns. If he's not got a lot to show for it, he knows he can be on the list next to be given that, you know, frozen out of training. Or even if he's not frozen out, he could become very quickly like a Mudryk, who's kind of at the back end.
Part of the B team, playing the Conference League games and that.
And I don't think he wants that, especially with now you've seen him get called up for England. I think he's starting today for England actually now. But you've seen him get called up for England like twice now. So I think that's kind of, apart from him just like making bad decisions because it's just, you know, it's just quality, I feel like him also trying to, you know, have something to cling on to so that he's becomes a proper mainstay in that team and in the England squad as well. I think that's also going to play a bit of a factor as well. Yeah, no, definitely 100%. And to be fair, like, I don't blame him. The way Chelsea have been moving, literally anybody can get cut. So credit to him. But in terms of Arsenal, obviously picked up a couple of injuries in that game. Obviously Saka pulled out of the England squad off the back of that game. Yep.
Ben White is out as well, and it's reported to be 10 to 12 weeks, which is...
That's surgery.
Yeah, really tough for them. Another injury for Arsenal in defence. I feel like, to be fair, obviously Ben White is a very important part of their team, but an injury in defence for Arsenal is not I don't know. It's not as big as someone like Odegaard going down or Saka
Yeah.
going down for a prolonged period of time. Because also have so many defenders.
So many.
Do you know what I mean? I think like Timber can cover in that position if they need. So do you know what I mean? I think they'll be all right. But it's definitely going to be a miss for them because I do think the dynamic of Ben White and Saka on that side is better than when Timber's on the right. And like obviously that that's not really on Timber. Like he's only been at the club for a year, but he's been injured for his first
basically
year,
his first season now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to take time for them to build that relationship. But I think down the right, definitely like Saka misses playing with Ben White when he's not in the team. But we'll have to see how Arsenal kind of adapt to that going forward. Let's move on to our next game. Let's go to Brighton City. I'm gonna let you have the floor with this one. Four losses in a row, first time in Pep's career. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. They told me I was overreacting. It's crazy. It's crazy. Nah, I don't know, man. I think this has been coming. I think it's the same thing. Like, was it Southampton? Can't remember. It was the John Stones winner. I think it was Wolves. The Wolves game where we won and John Stones scored. Was it? I think 2-1.
Oh, yeah, that one Guardiola scored as well.
Yeah, Guardiola scored a banger, and then John Stones last minute. I feel like at that point it should have been clear because I think going into that game, I'm pretty sure Wolves were either 19th or 20th, and I don't think they had a single win yet in the league.
Nah, they didn't.
And I'm pretty sure they go 1-0 up against us. I think from back then it should have been evident, like something ain't right here. But we've been carrying on, and I can't lie, 4 in a row is crazy. And I think next after the break we got Spurs at home. Then we got Feyenoord in the Champions League. Then we got Liverpool away. I think.
That game's away.
Yeah, and I don't know. It could be. I expect us to win Feyenoord definitely. So I think we could. But I don't know about the other. I don't know about the others in the league. So it could be 4 losses in the league by that point, and that would make it what if we beat Feyenoord? That would make it 1 win in 7. That's crazy. It's 1 win and 6 losses in 7. It's kind of crazy. But I don't know. I feel like this game specifically. I thought Gundogan was really good, especially in the first half. I thought he was really,
Probably
really
the
good.
best I've seen him since he's been back.
Yeah, for sure. And I was really impressed, I thought he was doing well. But then, I don't know, we go 1-0 up through Haaland. Obviously, Haaland doing what he does, crash, bang, wallop. You can't stop him. And then, I thought Foden was okay. I didn't think he was really anything special this game.
Yeah.
But then, it's like, I think even before we went down, it did feel like we were under a bit of pressure from Brighton. Like they were really on us for a sec. And a lot of it was coming through Kyle Walker's side and just in general a bit of just sort of like uneasiness about the squad, innit?
Yeah,
or about the team.
I think for me when that kind of started happening was when João Pedro was introduced into the game. He was really playing like on Walker almost, in between Walker and your right centre back. I don't know if it was Simpson Pusey. Yeah. And like you would see constantly Brighton would like he would kind of be on Walker and then Brighton would switch the ball to Matoma and he'd run inside and then Walker kind of doesn't know whether to track him or whether to go out to Matoma, and then Matoma was constantly getting the ball in one-on-ones.
Yeah, and he was shout out Matoma, man, great player. I wish we could have had him at City a few years ago, but bro, yeah, I think from then I don't know, there was one moment, it's been rattling me ever since, and I've seen a clip of it like 3 times. There's one moment, I'm not sure if we're 1-0 down at this point or if it's still 0-0, but it's Kyle Walker on the right. He's got the ball on the right-hand side of the pitch, right? Savio's up at like the halfway line on the touchline. Like close to the touchline, but on the halfway line.
I think I know this.
Foden is in front of him, bro. Foden's there, pointing at his feet, wide open. Give me the ball. He tries to bend the ball around Foden and ping it to Savio instead of just passing it to Foden for Foden to play it to Savio.
Is that when it goes out of play?
It goes out of play. It doesn't make any sense to me, bro. Like. And this is, I said it before, but it's such a bad, I feel like that shouldn't be the one moment it takes for people to notice this, but throughout his career anyway, even back when Walker used to be great, he's never really been a composed player. He's always sort of got a bit, I won't say emotional, but caught up in the game state very easily.
Bit of rashness, maybe.
Yeah, and when the pressure's really on, you don't give him the ball under pressure and them types of things. You don't sort of call on him to sort of keep a cool head in certain situations when the crowd is going and everything's going crazy. So for him to be our captain, I don't know, man. I think I don't know. I think it's a poor decision. Obviously, it's voted by the players and the staff, so it's it's democracy. But I think it's a poor decision. I know KDB wins KDB won the vote for the last 2 years, but he doesn't want to do the, like the captain has to do all the ambassador stuff and has to do all
No
the
way,
interviews.
that's why he doesn't want to be
You
captain.
didn't know that?
Nah,
Nah,
that's so poor. What do you mean?
It came out. I think Sam Lee said it. He said this year and last year he won it both times, but he said he just doesn't want to do it. Like he'll do it on the pitch, but he doesn't want to do all that interviews and all the other parts of it. So he just said nah.
I
So
mean,
Walker,
I guess I hear it in it, but that's kind of crazy.
yeah, that's the reason why. So Walker's came second both times, and I don't know, man. I think for me, I don't know. I think it's a poor decision because you can't be relying on this guy to lead. Like Jamai Simpson-Pusey, this is like probably his third game I've seen him play for us, or maybe fourth, and he's way more composed than he is in this situation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But anyway, enough on Walker. I think in general from there, I think it's before. I think Gundogan comes off. I really didn't see why he came off. Maybe we were getting a bit overrun in the middle, but I still thought he was very good, even if he wasn't, even if he was getting overrun, I still thought he was very good in possession.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want him off, right? We bring on KDB and we take Nunes to the middle to play with KDB and Foden out on the left touchline.
Yeah.
Boy, my head was gone, bro. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Bro, KDB is barely, he's not even really back like that. Like he just played like 10 minutes against Sporting and was really bad. Like he's not really even up to fitness anymore. There's no real reason to bring him on anyway. And then from there, I think we go 1-0 down. Foden moves to the other wing now.
Yeah.
And then he gets put to the other, like he just getting moved around there. It's just like, to me, I don't know. I didn't think Foden was that crazy this game, but still, I think like if you're trying to win the game, you know Foden's quality, you know what he can do in the middle behind the striker, and you're just moving him around. For Nunes, right? Nunes is not like a great midfielder. Like he's just not. Like his recent success at City has come when he's playing on the left wing.
Yeah.
Every time he's played in the middle, he's probably had like one good game. Like the rest of them have just been lackluster because he's just not at the quality we need for our team. And I don't know. It really felt like to me like it was such a irrational decision, and then they go and score 2 goals, and then now we're trying to claw back. We're trying to claw back and get it to 2-2. But it's like we should have never even been in that situation anyway. Like I feel like it was somewhat of our own making anyway. But yeah, I don't know, man. To me, it's kind of it's a bit of a reflection on not only how the season has gone so far, but also I think post-treble, I think a lot of stuff has sort of been since the treble. I think one thing that's really been like a bit evident is that it's kind of been like the mindset has been like we won the treble with these players, like we can do it again.
Yeah.
And that's just not how football works. Like, for one, what we did specifically is so like particular. Like it's a real like once in a blue moon type thing. Like it's not gonna happen again. And also to win a treble itself is so like impossible. Like the way that we did it as well, and the system that we used and the players that we used, the John Stones from centre back to centre mid, like all that type of stuff is so
specific.
And we needed John Stones to be fit for 6 months. Like, do you know how this is so like it's such a ridiculous thing? And it's like last season we spent a lot of last season trying to recreate that with Alvarez playing in Gundogan role. We played a lot with Akanji trying to play in the Stones role.
Yeah.
And then we get to games like the Madrid quarterfinal game at the Etihad where you see Akanji getting most of the touches in that game in the 10, and it's like. It was like Madrid were okay with him getting the ball because they know Akanji's a centre back. He's not going to take the ball in the half turn in the pockets. He's not going to play through balls. Against Arsenal at the Etihad, he was overlapping. He was on the touchline playing like basically right wing at points, and he's not going to drive with the ball and put a ball in the box because he's a centre back. It's not what he's used to. Do you know what I mean? And that's all sort of coming from that treble season where we played this way and we're trying to keep on replicating it. And now, since then, there's also been a bit of a neglect on the squad building.
Yeah.
So guys like Stones, who's pretty much past it now, Ake's pretty much past it now, but these guys were starters in the treble. So it's almost been like, we trust these guys to still play, but they're not really at the level we need anymore. You see now Gundogan as well is another example. We brought back Gundogan. He's not really been at the level apart from this Brighton game. He's not really been at the level. We've had Grealish. Grealish hasn't really been at the level for me. I think this season he started off strong. I think last season he started off strong as well, but he's had other issues with like his training and his fitness and things like that. Like there's not really been. It still does kind of feel like we've been a bit reliant on what the success has given us in the past. Which I mean, I kind of understand, but also you can't. That's not really like how to look at football. Like you can't go back and think, this has worked before, it'll work again. Like football changes every week. Like you need to sort of keep up with the times.
And I think it's kind of a weird thing kind of to say about Pep as well, because he's a manager that we've known to be someone that is so good at kind of transitioning teams between, like, if one team is done, do you know what I mean? If a player is not good enough anymore, like, you're going to get an improvement, like a replacement, and it's going to be someone who's better.
Yeah.
And I feel like, even like some of your signings in the last couple of seasons, like Doku, I really like him, but he's not the levels of, like, I don't know, like a Mahrez when he was at his best for you guys, or a Sane. Savio, I know it's his first season, and it's kind of unfortunate for him because normally City signings get that like first season tax. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of bedding in. But with the state of that you guys are in now, he kind of needs to hit the ground running.
Yep.
And although I do think his overall performances have been good, like I don't think he scored for you guys yet.
And he missed a sitter against Brighton as well.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? The final product isn't there. Like you're thinking a couple seasons ago, someone like Sterling, for example, not the best finisher, but like you knew he was always going to put up goals and assists. And
he's giving you 20 at least.
Yeah, that's been lacking. I think there's a stat that, like, I think it's Erling Haaland's obviously your top goal scorer.
Yeah.
And I think it's Gvardiol. That's
Gvardiol's
after
3. Yeah.
Yeah, and bro, the fact that like a centre back with 3 goals is your second highest top goal scorer is just I think this is everything that needs to be said.
No, for sure. And I don't know. I feel like now it's really gonna hit ahead this upcoming summer because one, there's the charges. I'm pretty sure they'll have like a decision probably by like January. We'll know that, and then also Pep's gonna decide whether he's staying or leaving, and I think the charges play a big part in that. I think if you get found guilty, he's gonna stay. So I think that's sort of a big thing, and then also KDB's contract expires in the summer. He hasn't really decided what he's gonna do yet. Gundogan's on a one. I think it expires in summer, but he has an option to extend, or the club has an option to extend. So they'll probably end up letting him go, I'm assuming. And I don't know. I feel like it's really gonna be sort of like an ultimatum type thing. Like they're gonna have to make a decision. Like, if Pep signs an extension, they're gonna have to commit almost to the rebuild with Pep. If Pep doesn't sign an extension, then a new manager's gonna come in and they're gonna have to commit to that as well. Like it's really gonna be now they're gonna have to decide. Because one thing I was really thinking about in terms of squad building recently was that our wingers, right? So on the wing we play Doku, Savio, Grealish, Foden, Bernardo, Oscar Bob, and recently Nunes, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at those players, the only player I'd say out of that whole list who's someone who thrives probably in wide areas like that is Savio. I think Doku is better when he's his best. For me, the best I've seen him at Rennes was when he was on the right wing and he was coming direct inside at the defenders. Foden, Bernardo, Bob, Grealish, all these players are better inverted in the half space, in the pockets. So I don't know. When you look at our team and look at our defenders, we don't have any attacking fullbacks. We have no one that's flying up the pitch to allow them to push inside. Things like that, just those type of things that it's like it's not something you really think about that much. But in terms of squad building, this is like our biggest issue at the moment, is that our team is not built, like we don't sign players that complement the way our existing players play. It's almost like we just sign players, and obviously we sign good players, we signed Gvardiol, we signed Haaland, we signed great players, but it's like these players we're signing, it's not as if they fit like a set vision, in my opinion. It's as if you sign the good player and Pep will deal with the rest. That's how for me, that's how it feels. It feels as if it's just like sign the player, put him in there, and we'll see what we can do. Like he'll figure something out. And I don't know, I feel like for me, it needs to change. Now we've got a new sporting director coming in January to start, and then he will like officially start in summer. But I don't know, for me, it really feels like it needs to change, because if not, like, I know people, obviously you're a United fan, but people, we talk about the City downfall coming. That could really be it.
I'm ready for it, bro.
If they don't hit, like, we need about 5-6 new signings and about 5-6 guys to leave. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen in one window, but something that big, like a rebuild of that scale, I can't lie. Yeah, they definitely need to get it right, because if not, it could be spooky. I'll be real.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it'll be very interesting kind of see like obviously the whole Pep situation, whether he stays or not. Because even if he does decide to stay, like we don't know how long he's gonna stay
Yeah.
for. It's always been a kind of up in the air situation with Pep and when he might leave. And it's like obviously with the whole rebuild that you guys are gonna have to have going on, you don't really want to like if Pep's only going to be there for like one more season or two more seasons. Like I don't know if you'd really want to kind of
Yeah.
I don't know if you might prefer maybe to go for a different manager that's going to be there for a long term view
Yeah.
and then actually be able to build the squad, you know, in his vision. Do you know what I'm saying? Rather than like Pep's there for another 2 years, maybe you get some success and then he's gone, and then the whole squad has to change again after this reboot that you've done. But before we move on, I want to obviously mention Brighton in this game because I think they did really well, especially in the second half. I think Belibo was really good when he came off the bench. Quality, he was just everywhere, winning the ball
Yep.
back and playing some really nice passes as well. Forward, I think, yeah, he played the first pass forward for the Matt O'Reilly goal for the winner. I think Van Heck as well was really good. I really like the look of him. I think Brighton really kind of suffered when he wasn't in the team earlier in the season, but since he's been back, like some of the passes this guy can play, man. The way he can split the lines is crazy. Yeah, definitely, I'd say one of the better ball playing centre backs in the league. And then João Pedro as well. I think this is his first game back from injury. And yeah, I mean he was doing really well at the beginning of the season. Scored against United, scored against Arsenal, and yeah, back with a goal against City. Really good performance and assist as well for Matt O'Reilly. So yeah, I think shout out to Brighton and Hertzler. Really doing well this season. Looking kind of serious, and it's like it's nice to see that Brighton, like their overall club model is clearly not too dependent on like the managers. You know, I feel like we've seen this kind of like steady upward trajectory from Brighton, even throughout having Potter and Zerbi and now Hertzler. Like it all looks like they're aligned and in one vision. And yeah, no, it's really good to see. But let's move on to the next game. Let's go Brentford Bournemouth. You watch this game. Yeah, tell me what were you saying? 3-2 to Brentford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Iraola versus Thomas Frank.
Yo, hipster FC, man.
Mid-table tactical showdown.
It's crazy. I think they were. I checked actually. They're equal on goal difference. They're both on 0. I think Brentford are 1 point ahead, and they're like 1 point ahead. There's one's I think 12th and one's 13th, or one's 11th and one's 12th.
I think
Crazy.
it's 11th and 12th because I think we're 13th.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. It was a proper. I can't lie. This game, one of the most enjoyable games I watched in a while. I can't lie. Proper battle end to end. I thought Mbeumo wasn't really crazy in the game. I think who was the left back? Was it Kirkes? I think it's Kirkes that started left back. He had a great game against City and really done well to sort of keep Mbeumo out of this game. I can't lie. But as for his partner in crime, Wissa, great performance. I can't lie. And there was a lot of conversation when Tony was getting the Saudi move about Wissa and Mbeumo and blah blah blah. And I remember Umir was saying that he thinks Tony is sort of, I don't know if he would say holding them back, but they play better when he's not there. And when he was suspended and when he was injured, there was times where you'd see them play together. And the two-man step was working. I can't lie. They're really doing something. So yeah, I mean, what more can you really say? I mean, Wissa was really impressed with him. I'm not really sure about his level, you know. I'm not sure how
it scales.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it would look in other teams, but I can't lie. I rate him a lot and I enjoy watching him. Like he's really one of them players that I think was it the second goal where they do some nice combination play on the left hand side. I think it's Yano. I can't remember if it's Yano or not, but I think it's Yano that comes inside, plays the ball, he goes past the centre back and chips it over the keeper. Brilliant finish. Yeah, man.
You got a goal catalogue, you know, Wissa.
Bro, the
he
overhead
does, you know.
kicks.
Yeah, you got a couple bangers as well, some screamers.
Yeah, nah, he's serious. But yeah, I can't lie. I really like him. Like I like the way he like presents himself on the pitch, like his personality and stuff. I really like it. So yeah, really good player. I think, not gonna lie, I think even though I like him a bit more, I think Mbeumo is probably the one who scales a bit better for a elite team.
Yeah. Who do you think? Because I mean, there's been kind of conversations, obviously, with like the whole Salah situation, the contract situation. Obviously, Mbomo, similar right winger, left footed. Do you think? Because I mean, some people have kind of made that link already. Do you think that Liverpool would be a place that he could take the step up? Because I think, I don't know. When I look at his attributes, I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say he's like similar to like someone like Jared Bowen. I feel like he's a bit better in my opinion. Like cleaner technically.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, with like the pace and his ability like in transition with the way Liverpool play, I think that he could make that move, and it could work out quite well. I don't know if he's gonna like boom and make like Salah numbers. I wouldn't really expect that of him, and of course like that's a big ask. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think that's a move that could be good for both parties?
Yeah, I do. See, that's something I've been thinking about a lot. Is that I don't think he can. I don't think he can replicate Salah numbers because he's just not as good. But I think one thing that you can do is you can get him to probably pick up about, for Liverpool, I'm saying about 15 goals in the Prem minimum.
A couple of assists in there as well.
And probably you got. I think I rated his assist against Bournemouth. Actually, got a really nice assist for one of their goals. So yeah, I think there you can get him there, and he won't be too expensive either. Probably 40 million, 45, maybe 50. But from there, I think you can then invest in a different position and sort of spread it a bit more, because I feel like one of the things with Liverpool is that they've been really, really dependent on Salah, and Salah's been, every single time proving why they depend on him. But it's not. You can say, well, it's funny to say it's not sustainable because he's done it for like 7 years now. But it's not something you ideally want to have, because if, for example, Salah gets an injury this season, Liverpool's title race is suddenly in doubt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think you get Mbeumo in, if Salah's to leave, as it seems like likely that he is at this point, you get Mbeumo in on the right. Probably Nunes leaves as well. You get a new striker in, proper. Osimhen's still looking for a club.
I can't see my boy playing for Liverpool.
You get him, and then potentially, I don't know how. I'm not sure what the future will look like in terms of like guys like Diaz and Gakpo, but if you can get Diaz firing consistently like throughout the rest of the season, then you get a Diaz, Osimhen, and Mbeumo front three. Listen, man, it's just a thought. Like, I can't lie, I think that could work. I think that could definitely work. And I don't know if they can manage to hold on to Trent, then you've got weapons all around the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's definitely something to think about. I would probably recommend him to Liverpool if that's like, the right wings they're looking for. Other than probably Kudus, I think is a reasonable shout, obviously.
Yeah, no.
But overall great game, entertaining game. Some great goals. And yeah, I like that they're still sticking with the throw-ins at Brentford. The long throw-ins. Yeah. I love it. I can't lie. I think for Wiss's first goal, it was a throw-in, and then at the back post, Wiss head knocks it home. And then for another thing also for Bournemouth, set piece goal again.
Oh yeah.
Another lovely set piece routine. Nah, I can't lie. I think those two teams are like, when it's 3 p.m. and you're looking for a game to watch, if they're on, I'm tuning in. I can't lie. If my team's not playing, I'm tuning in. Like, I really like it. I can't lie.
Can't lie, you sold me. I'm gonna have to be on the lookout. Bournemouth and Brentford, bro. Get me there. But let's move on to next Premier League game. Obviously, Manchester United beat Leicester 3-0 to wrap up Ruud van Nistelrooy's interim period at the club, going undefeated for my legend. Obviously, things we love to see. Yeah, I thought this was obviously it's against Leicester. It's a opposition that we'd expect to beat, and we did beat them in the Carabao Cup just last week, I believe. But it was very good performance. I'd say. I think I kind of said last week, but Van Nistelrooy definitely made us more compact defensively. I think like Lisandro Martinez had a good game. Ugarte had a really good game. He was everywhere. I think that's probably the best game that I've seen from him. And I know like a lot of Man United fans have been quite quick to criticise him. And obviously when you come for, I think we paid like 60 million euros for him, which is a huge fee. And it didn't really work out for him at PSG last season after he kind of moved for a similar fee. And when you kind of look at his attributes and what he's good at, particularly on the ball, it's not really one of his strengths. And that's one thing that I think Manchester United have really needed, is someone from deep who can really dictate playing and get us up the pitch and get us moving. He's not really that type of player. But I think when he's partnered with Casemiro, the way Rue kind of had it, where he's got a bit more license to just essentially run around and win the ball wherever he sees fit. I think that's a good role for him. I think he strikes a good balance with Casemiro as well, because obviously when he's up pressing, trying to win the ball back, Casemiro knows to kind of sit deeper and hold his position, and vice versa. So I think they've created quite a decent duo since Ruud's taken over. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes scored the first goal for us. A lovely finish as well. Kind of off the right hand side, and I think Bruno Fernandes he's been quite good, to be honest, under Van Nistelrooy in this little 4-game stretch. I think he was really struggling under Ten Hag. He hadn't scored in the league this season under Ten Hag, and then in Van Nistelrooy's first game against Leicester, he scored twice. And I think in the way he's kind of playing now, he has a bit more freedom, I'd say, a bit more license to like stay in the final third and pick up the ball where he can actually be effective and useful. I think Ten Hag liked to use Bruno in deeper areas. You saw it quite often last season. Like at times, our midfield three would be Amrabat, McTominay, and Bruno would be the deepest of the three midfielders because, like, obviously his passing range is like incredible when he gets it right. But like, this is someone who's one of our, if not our most productive player. Like, it's someone that we really need to see close to goal, and I think he's been really good in this little 4-game stretch. Ahmad as well, a really good performance from him off the back of a brace against PAOK in the Europa League. Man, I'm just happy to see him playing, bro, because under Ten Hag, I feel like, I don't know, it just didn't make any sense to me. Like, he would come into the team, or he would come off the bench, and he would have a bright cameo, a bright performance, link play well. It seems like he's got it seems like he has a good understanding with kind of whoever's really near him. Like, if you see him linking up with Kobe, you can see him linking up with Mazraoui. In this game against Leicester, you saw him linking up well with Bruno, got the assist for his first goal. He seems to just kind of have like an understanding of football. And I can't understand really for the life of me why Ten Hag refused to start him or even give him more of an opportunity. Like, we saw him at the beginning of this season, and I thought he started quite well. Obviously scored against Brighton. Yeah. And then, I don't know, Ten Hag just kind of didn't really want to use him, favoured Garnacho on the right. But I think like, looking forward into the future under Amorim, Amad's going to be someone that he's really going to like, you know, in the like right 10 position. I think that really suits his game, especially because as a winger, like under Ten Hag, he was often kind of tasked to like stay wide, hold the width on that side, and like be his man 1v1. And he's not the quickest. Like, he's quick, but he's not got like a crazy burst of acceleration. And I think in more central areas, that's not as necessary. And then I think it also kind of brings through his other qualities, like his ability in tight spaces is really good. His playmaking, I think, is quite good. The way he can keep the ball ticking. I think you saw it during his loan spell at Sunderland, where he kind of had the freedom to roam about in like that. He was starting right wing, but he would roam into the 10 and kind of be everywhere on the pitch. And I think in Amorim's system, as that right-sided 10, we could see something similar to that. Maybe not as much freedom, but I think in the second phase and the final third, allowing him to get more touches on the ball and be more involved, link up with some of our other attackers, could really yield some positive play for us. And I think as well, something that's underrated about him as well is his ball striking ability. I think he's got some bangers in his locker. I remember pre-season scored a goal against Rangers where he cut in, and he scored a goal when we were in America. So I can't remember if it was against Arsenal, but he scored another goal in pre-season against Newcastle last season. Scored like a nice volley kind of from a corner, came out, he just shot it through the crowd. It was like an arrow. And if you look at some of his goals for Sunderland as well, he was shooting from everywhere, taking free kicks, like doing a whole lot. So I think he's really someone that could definitely thrive under the new manager. And I also want to talk about the Garnacho situation as well, because he came off the bench. in like the 60th, 70th minute. And obviously, kind of after last week, the criticism that he had after the Chelsea game, some of his decision making wasn't really the best. And he had that weird interaction with that guy that kind of came up to him and was giving him a bit of stick. And yeah, obviously he scored a great goal, a really good finish against Leicester. He didn't celebrate. It was kind of a talking point. Bruno came out and said that he felt like he lost trust in the trust of the fan base, and that's why he didn't celebrate, which is interesting. I mean, I don't know, it's a weird one. I think you kind of have to take into account that, you know, he's a 20-year-old at the end of the day. I think I've seen people say, like, in the United sphere that, like, he's too online. But this is a 20-year-old kid, like, bro, of course he's gonna be on his phone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like even if he doesn't try and purposely look at it, like
You can still, yeah,
it's still gonna pop up on his timeline. Like, it's related to him. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, obviously, I don't know. I feel like the not celebrating thing is a bit, like, I don't know. I feel like taking it a bit too far. Like, it's not really that deep. The fans love him in the stadium. They sing Viva Garnacho the whole night, even when he's not on the pitch. So I don't know. But obviously, good to see him scoring. And I thought, it was a decent cameo. But I do want to talk about the man that he came on for. And man, this breaks my heart, bro. Marcus Rashford, man.
Chai.
Can't lie, it wasn't a good performance at all against Leicester. And for me, I don't know. I've been thinking about this for a while, and like Rashford is one of my favorite players for United. I think like the past few years, like really since he's come into the team, he's been one of our better attackers. And of course, you know, homegrown academy player, boy at club, all that. Want him to do well, but I feel like we're at the point of Rashford where, you know, and for some people maybe they've reached this point earlier than me, but for me, I've reached this point now where I need to see consistent levels from him. Do you know what I mean? Especially, you know, under the new manager, you're getting a clean slate. I need to really see what you can do, because he just turned 27, and you know he's not a kid anymore. This should really be when he's in his prime years. Obviously, a couple seasons ago, under Ten Hag, he had that really good year where he hit 30 goals. I think it was 40 GA as well. I think he had like 11 assists. He was really good that season. Really carried our attack as well. Because I mean, if you look past him, and Bruno was decent that year as well. Our other attackers were not really putting up numbers like that. So, you know, he really put the team on his back that season. But we're two years removed from that now, and it's still kind of this same Rashford up and down. And I don't know. At 27, I need more consistency from him. To be honest, I need to see that level on a weekly basis. And I don't know. It just feels like, I don't really like to talk about players like their moods and stuff, but he does seem like a moody player on the pitch. Like when things are not going his way, it seems like his head can drop and he's kind of out of the game. And I don't know, it's always a weird one with Rashford, because it like at the same time, it always feels like if he gets a goal, you know, things can really pick up from there. If he gets a goal in one game, scores in the next game, he can really kind of pick up momentum. And yeah, I feel like at this point in his career, we really need to kind of see if he can bring that consistency, and if he can't, then we're unfortunately going to have to move away, because he's one of the highest earners I think the highest earner at a club. And if he's not putting down the numbers that justify it, I think for the sake of the team, for the future team, we're going to have to look at it without Rashford. As much as that pains me to say, but yeah, I mean that's really what I had to say, to be honest, about the game against Leicester. Pretty standard win. Of course, Leicester not doing too great at the moment, but yeah, still good to have a good performance. Something that we've not really seen too much this season. But let's get back into our European bag. It's been a while since we talked about some of the other leagues.
Yeah.
And yeah, huge clash at the top of the Serie A this week, or last week, sorry. Inter versus Napoli, 1-1 draw. And yeah, I thought this was an interesting game. Obviously, Inter Milan, the home team. And yeah, one thing I've got to say off the bat about Inter is like, I love the way they play. Like the way Inzaghi has them set up, the way they're fluid, the dynamic in build up. I feel like, you know, you always see their players popping up in all types of positions. Like I saw Acerbi like receive the ball on the half turn in the penalty area and take a shot against Napoli. I'm like, what's even going on here? Yeah. I was seeing Bastoni on the right wing. Like, I don't know. I just love the way they play. Obviously, Napoli as well have been really good this season under Conte. Kind of after the disappointment of last season, they've really like picked things up this year. I think they're top of the league at the moment. But yeah, what did you make of this game?
Man, starting off, I think Kvara, I think he's been great this season, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm not sure how much this particular style of play suits him, not gonna lie. Like, I feel like a lot of this game, I was seeing Kvara get the ball, like they're in their low block, Kvara gets the ball, progresses it all the way up the pitch, and he looks up, and there's like one player in the box.
It's just Lukaku.
Yeah, and I don't know, I feel like he's obviously doing great. Like, it's not even a knock to him, because he's doing the most he can right now. But I feel like, I don't know, I really feel like there's still a bit more that you can get out of him, using him in a role that's like probably in a more possession-based team. Obviously, Napoli have been really good this season anyway, but in these sorts of games, this is sort of the similar sort of criticisms that people had of Conte in his final days at Spurs, which is that in games where you'd think they have the quality of players to go against. Obviously, Conte did say a lot of times that like he wasn't really a fan of Spurs' players, and he didn't think they were that good or whatever. But you'd think that they'd have the quality to go like head to head with teams. And for large parts of this game, it really did feel like Inter were like
Dominant,
like way ahead of them. And I don't know, perhaps it's just the way Inter were that good. You know what I mean? They have one of the best managers in the world, so perhaps it's just that. But I don't know. It really did feel like you could see, like, I don't know. It felt like Inter should have probably left with a few more goals than they did. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, they had a couple, like, half chances that kind of stuck out in my memory. I remember one, Lautaro. Dumfries played the ball to him. I don't know why he took a touch. I feel like he should have just finished that first time, and he kind of squandered the chance. But I don't know. I feel like I hear what you're saying, definitely, and I agree with, like, especially when you're relating to how Conte was at Spurs. I feel like that was definitely the case at times where they were a bit too defensive instead of kind of going for the game. But I don't know. I feel like in this game, like, you're going away from home. They were top of the league before this game. They're still top of the league now, and like, I don't know. I feel like on quality, Inter Milan are way past Napoli on overall quality. I feel like across the squads, like if you go through the 2-11s, I feel like Inter Milan have so much more. I think, in the midfield, like, I don't know. I don't think Billy Gilmour was that great in this game. I feel like he misplaced a couple sloppy passes, things that you wouldn't normally expect from him. Someone that's normally like quite a metronomic passer. I feel like he was a bit sloppy today or on the weekend. But I feel like, I don't know. It's kind of tough to go to the San Siro and play against a midfield three of Çalhanoğlu, Barella, and Mkhitaryan, and like especially the way those three play in Inzaghi's system as well. Like, they're kind of everywhere. Like, you'll see all three of them receive in the first phase, or you can see some of them pop up in second phase in the final third. Like, they kind of just run the game, and I feel like I don't know. I think Conte's plan was to kind of leverage the physicality that they had in midfield. Obviously, they've got Anguissa started that game, and McTominay, who's been really good in the Serie A so far, to kind of leverage their like physicality against Inter Milan's players, because as good technically as Inter Milan's midfield three are, like, they can't touch McTominay and Anguissa physically. So I feel like that was kind of the plan, and like soak up pressure, and as you said, release down Kvara's side. And I don't know, I just feel like the issue more was getting the numbers into the box. Like, I would have liked to see McTominay kind of crash into the box more. Obviously he did get the goal, but it was from a set piece. I would like to see more support for Lukaku or for Kvara when they were in the final third. But
what did you think of McTominay as a whole? Not only this game, but like, what do you think of him so far at Napoli, and whether or not he should have stayed at United? Because I know that's a big topic in terms of United fans. When they're seeing him score, they're saying, we let this guy go, blah, blah, blah. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a funny one that, like, I think it's funny that, like, it's when he scores that people are like, we should have kept him. Because, bro, last season he was scoring for us. Like, he was saving us last season, do you know what I mean? And the reports are saying that Ten Hag wanted to keep him, actually. And I don't blame him. Like, he bailed him out so many times last season. I think for me, I'm not really surprised that McTominay is thriving in this league. I feel like just his physicality
Yeah.
and his ability to like carry the ball through the midfield in open space just makes him. I think it makes him a rare profile in the Serie A. I feel like there aren't a lot of midfielders that can kind of do that to his level. And I think, yeah, his instincts in the box are, I mean, something that we could see when he was at United. Like his movement, his timing, like the way he can like sniff out a chance. It's actually striker-like. And I know he used to play as a striker in the United Academy, so maybe that's kind of where he gets it from. But I don't know. I feel like in terms of whether we should have kept him, I don't know, you know. I think it's a weird one because obviously he helped us out a lot last season, but I do feel like that role that he was playing is not something that like the top teams really have players who do that, if you know what I mean. Like they don't really have a guy like McTominay who's just crash in the box like 24/7, like as his only job when the team's in possession anyway, because in the final third when we have the ball, like at times McTominay was like a non-factor, do you know what I mean? And I feel like the role that he's playing in this Napoli side, where he's like, I mean, he's more of an 8 rather than like, he is the furthest forward midfielder at times, but he is more of an 8 rather than like solely box crashing. I feel like it allows him to make the most of his skill set in terms of like getting the jewels in there. Obviously the carrying from deep as well, which we didn't really see too much at United. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
Nah, fair enough. Just quickly in Europe still, wanted to ask you about something. So I was thinking about this a little bit actually.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to think about a golden boot. So who we think is the best player at the end of the season, and we're gonna come back to at the end of the season.
Okay.
So far, one guy that's been catching my eye, Marmoush. I've been really vibing with Marmoush though. I can't lie. He's, aside from just like playing well every week, I can't lie, he moves me so much, man. The free kicks, the counter-attacking goals, like even the hair, bro, like everything. Like, I can't lie.
He's got aura.
Bro, he's got aura. I can't lie. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
He's a baller.
I'd love to see him at my club if it made sense. I don't think it does make
bro.
sense.
Ineos got a plan, bro. Chill out.
Is that the Rashford replacement?
Might have to be, you know. If he keeps doing this.
But yeah, on that, who else would you say in that conversation for best so far?
Best so far, I think you have to look at Salah. I think it was like Salah's flying around that the quickest player to reach 10 goals and 10 assists ever, which is crazy. And yeah, he's been on fire this season. I think obviously you have to mention Rafinha as well. What he's been doing at Barca has been top. Like especially after last season, all the things in the summer where it was kind of like, you know, Barca fans wanted him out maybe to kind of come back and be at the level where he's been at this season. And I would say I think Vinny's up there as well. I don't think Vinny has like the consistency as like Marmoush, Salah and Rafinha. I think those guys have been great in like literally every game I've seen them play. Whereas Vinny, I think, has been a bit hit or miss. Maybe that's due to the system. But when Vinny has been good, like it's been crazy. Like it's been. I think when Vinny has been good, it's been the highest level of all three of them personally. Like hat-trick again at the weekend against Osasuna, hat-trick against Dortmund in Champions League. Like it's been nuts. But yeah, anybody else you would kind of put in that conversation?
Lewa so far has been cooking up for.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
For Barcelona, he's been cooking up. Would have said Haaland until a few weeks ago, man.
Missing.
The last like 4 games, I say he played bad in 3 of them. I can't lie. So.
Yeah.
But we'll keep it going. We'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, man. Also, quickly, before we wrap it up, so I wanted to ask about the England squad, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, Trent, Cole, Foden, Grealish, Palmer, Rice, Saka, and Aaron Ramsdale pulled out of the squad. And Rodgers, Bowen, Bramford, Livramento, and Trafford got called up. What do you think of Harry Kane's quotes? He said, England comes before any club situation, and essentially was saying he's a bit disappointed that they pulled out. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I hear kind of both sides of the coin. Like on one hand, I do hear it from his perspective. obviously like one of the leaders in the national team, and like I don't know, maybe because I'm not like mad patriotic about England or something like that. I don't really care like if these guys drop out for a Nations League game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I get, especially for like Carsley, it's kind of peak for him. Do you know what I mean? Like calling up all these players and so many of them drop out, like these big names. But I don't know. At the same time, like I don't know. I think it's whatever. Like we've seen like Ben White, someone that has said openly that doesn't really care about England or whatever. So,
apparently, he might be coming back for Tuchel. That's allegedly. Allegedly, he might be coming back for Tuchel.
Aaron NT sources.
Nah, we'll see. But nah, fair enough. And
What do you think of it?
to be honest, I think especially with how demanding the schedule is in football, like we're seeing guys get ACLs all the time. Now.
Yeah.
Brayman got an ACL, Militao got an ACL in his other leg. Like it's ACLs. Rodri got an ACL, Carvajal got an ACL. Like the way that injuries are piling up right now, I don't know. I hear they're pulling out. I can't lie, I hear it.
Yeah, and I think for the players as well, they got to look after themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, for sure.
But yeah, that's all we have time for this week's episode. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on all socials, Twitter, TikTok, and until next time, we're out.